excuse me, we've been in contact with the city manager's office, and the vacant position that was for Jim Nail has been filled. The city manager has appointed Stephanie Fitzpatrick to that non-represented position. So we welcome her to the committee. I sent her all the info last night, so I advised her that if she needs any help or anything like that, she can reach out to anybody on the committee and get brought up to speed with what's going on. So welcome, Stephanie, and we'll go ahead and get started with the meeting. The first thing on the agenda was the approval from the minutes for July. Did everybody get those that I sent out?
Mike, I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
Okay. Jeff makes a motion to accept the minutes. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Jamie seconds. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. Is Kimberly on?
Yes, I am.
Hi, Kimberly. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Good.
We have the finance report. This will be for 2 months. It'll be June and July. So go ahead, Kimberly.
Correct. For the month of June, the OAP1 plan had a net income of $69,898, and the OAP2 plan had a net income of $9,614. For the fiscal year 20, which ended in June, the fund experienced a loss of $187,090 and had an ending unrestricted net assets of $3,312,003. For the month of July, the OAP plan 1 had a $472,952 loss, and the OAP2 plan realized a net income of $37,695. So for the first month of this fiscal year, for July, the fund had a loss of $435,256, which has resulted in an ending unrestricted net asset balance of $2,876,747. Looks like there were quite a few claims paid in July. And the IBNR was updated as of June 30th, reflected in the June statement. Are there any other questions about anything that's been presented?
I'll make a motion. We accept the report.
Jamie makes a motion to accept the finance report. Cindy seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Finance is approved. Thank you, Kimberly.
Thanks. Have a good day.
Lisa or Julie from Cigna.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Right now, Terry and I are preparing for open enrollment. Basically, just gathering some information and getting the benefit guide together. So we decided open enrollment schedule date will be October 26th through November 7th. I'm not sure if we decided to have a mandatory open enrollment yet. So that's where we are right now. So for any changes, I don't think you all mentioned from the last call that we're going to have any changes to the benefits or anything like that. So hopefully this will be a smooth open enrollment.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's something we're going to discuss later on. Lockton's got some projections for us to look at numbers. So hopefully everything's, fingers crossed, everything's good and we're not going to have to mess with the premiums or anything, but I don't think we'll see any benefits. We'll wait and see.
Okay.
The one question I had is, Julie, are you still here? I was curious where we're at with the Hy-Vee clinics. I thought Julie was on here.
Let me see if I can reach out to her. Hold on just a moment.
And Mike, while she's doing that, I'm not sure if are you looking at the chats? Terry is saying that, trying to make a motion to accept, but can't type fast enough. So I just wanted to make sure that somebody was monitoring the chats and making sure everyone who wanted to participate was participating.
Okay. Yeah, I can see his,
Okay.
thank you, Amber.
Okay, cool.
So Julie is on the call, but I think she's having technical issues right now.
Okay, let's try this. Can you hear
Oh,
me?
there you
Hi,
go.
Julie.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. What a deal. Technology, we love it. So what I was saying was that we are fine tuning our communication on the Hy-Vee clinics. And so that should be coming out shortly. And we'll also be including information on the flu shots as well. So we want to make sure that we pull those two things together and make sure that we have a cohesive message to everybody. And then Mike, I had one other thing just to report. I was going to start reporting monthly to you guys just on COVID. And I think Lockton's got a whole lot more detail as far as how they're looking at it. But what I can tell you guys is that so far there have been 11 people who've been diagnosed positively out of almost 220 tested, and claims are running around, it's around 23,000 January through.
Okay. I know from my personal experience, I know Cigna's in on dealing with the COVID stuff has been phenomenal. When I came down with it, I never had any issues. Everything ran very smoothly for me. So I appreciate that, Julie.
You bet. And that's all I had.
Okay, thank you. Lockton.
Yeah. Okay, so as Kimberly mentioned, July claims were pretty high. They were net paid claims were $1.7 million. So when we look at, that brings our year-to-date average PEPM to 1,394. We've talked about this this time last year on a PEPM basis, that number was 1,095. And then of course, because of the removal of the post 65s effective 1/1/20, we are looking at PMPM. So as a reminder for people who are new, that's per member per month instead of per employee per month. So for year to date on a per member per month basis, we're at 584, whereas we were at 504 last year.
Can you tell what's increased in our claims for this last month and everything?
I don't know the reason behind that, Cindy. I know that because I'm just looking at gross medical claims last month were 1.1, they were 1.3 this month. RX has stayed pretty consistent, so there's not really a big uptick in that. Julie, that might be something that you and your team might need to look in as far as drilling down as to what the increase was, because if you guys look at the large claimant report, you still don't have anybody over the spec amount. So we've got six folks who are at that 150,000 threshold. None of them have exceeded the spec level. So as a reminder, this time, large claimants are down significantly because this time last year you had 18 over the 150,000 threshold and 3 were over the spec by about $637,000. So.
And I did see that, Amber, when I was looking over the report. That's why I was asking.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's just been an uptake in surgeries and stuff that have been put off since the COVID, or what was going on? I just kind of wondered what would cause the big uptick all of a sudden, so.
Yeah, it could be, Cindy, because if you look back at like April and May, so consistently you've been above, I mean, like above $1 million. And then for April, I can't read, I need my new glasses. April, it was 823,000. May was 794, and then it jumps back up to 1.1 and then 1.3. So it could be just kind of claims even leveling out from the deferment of care during that period where we're all hunkered down. So
Yeah.
And we're seeing that pretty much of all plans that we work with. So
Okay, that's good to know.
I think it's just a return to normalcy.
Agreed. We're seeing it as well.
So that is what I have from the Lockton report. What other additional questions can I answer?
Well, Amber, I'm looking at that cover letter. And it's 110%. The plan's funding results in a deficit. What, I'm thinking 110% funding.
It's plan. Yeah, no. So the way that you guys look at it is total plan cost versus funding. So your total plan costs today are year to date are $11.3 million, and your funding is $10.292 million. So we look at it a little bit different for City of Independence. Based on that, yeah, based on that, a deficit.
So we're spending 110,000 or 110% of what we're taking in.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else have any other questions for Lockton? We have a motion to approve Lockton's minutes.
I'll make a motion.
Motion made by Jeff. We have a second.
Terry seconded.
Very second.
Terry seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Right,
All right.
Okay. HR, is Terry or Julia?
This is Terry. Like Lisa said, we're preparing for open enrollment. We would like to do it electronically this year. So information will be going out by email, but for the retirees, we're still going to mail their packets to them. So we're working on that. We have about 120 people that aren't on city email that we have to get their email and their permission to send it to them electronically to a different email address. So we're working on that and getting together the open enrollment guide and information.
Okay, thank you. Selena, wellness.
Hey, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Is everybody going to be notified about the dental premiums? I mean, I've put it out to my dispatchers, but I just didn't know if they'd be receiving an email or something from the city about those September premiums or not.
That would be something for HR or Lisa to send out. I know I did the same thing. I emailed all my members.
is Jennifer on the call?
I believe
She
so.
is. Yes. What was the question?
Jeff was asking if there was going to be any communication from the city side to the members and employees, letting them know about the dental premium changes for September, since we're not having those withheld from our paychecks due to the refund.
Yes. Yes, we will be sending something out.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I apologize, everybody. I'm trying to take notes and minutes as well as run the meeting, so you have to bear with me a little bit. Selena, Wellness.
Hi, I'm not getting super service, so we don't really have a lot. There's a blood drive coming up in September. It will be on site. And then the other thing I wanted to report is the Quest Diagnostic biometric screenings. In July, we had 14 members take advantage of it. We did have some issues with some of the Quest, and I think we got that straightened out. So I haven't checked on August. I'll check on that and report back. But for right now, that's what we're doing, and trying to get people to get those biometrics done.
Selena, has that went out to people too? Because I've had people say that they didn't know anything about that.
I sent an email out about it, but we haven't sent any home mailers or anything like that. So for people who don't have email, they probably aren't getting the information if the admins aren't telling them that.
Okay.
And I can attest to the Quest Diagnostic thing. It's super easy. I think I made my appointment. I got on, logged on Monday morning. I had my appointment on Wednesday, and I was in and out in about 10 minutes. So it was super easy.
Yeah, I've heard for the most part those reviews.
Do you think it'd be a good idea to send that out again, Selena?
Yeah, we're definitely going to send that out again, more than just one other time. We're also working with the city and the Cigna team to do more of like the rest of the year calendar, where we are possibly looking into sending them out in a home mailer as well. So we can hit all the members, not just the people that have email. So that's the goal, because we need to get as many people as we can to go get them.
Okay, that'd be good.
Thank you, Selena. Does anybody have any old business to bring up? Perfect. We'll go into our new business. And did everybody get the presentation that Lockton sent out? We'll let Dina and Amber talk through that and kind of explain that.
Okay, hopefully you got the presentation. I think I sent it a couple of days ago. There's a lot of information in here, so I won't, I kind of will go highlights for the first few pages and then delve into the projections. The first page is a COVID estimate based on our actuarial team's modeler, which basically says it takes your risks and your geographic area and applies that to national norms for COVID. Based on that, we think that there's about $150,000 of costs that you will see in 2020 from COVID-19. Obviously, Julie said you were around 24,000, 23,000. I must have picked up the wrong number because I had about 12,000. But at the same time, based on what we're seeing in deferred care or postponed care, we're expecting that you would have about $450,000 worth of care that people either delayed, deferred, or avoided. So the net impact of COVID-19 would be a negative 1.8% to your bottom line. The second slide kind of shows what we think will happen in 2021 from COVID-19, and that's in the forms of care coming back, potential vaccines paid for by the city, increased mental health costs, and we think that that's going to tick up about 1.7%. So I only share those two numbers because those numbers were really included in our reforecast. The fourth page shows a reforecast based on the rolling 12 months, April of 2019 through March of 20, and then another one through June of 20. Our actuarial team does not feel that April, May, and June are credible months, so we're only using the March data and trending it forward. I just included the June data for comparison purposes so you could kind of see what that would look like as well. So based on the 2020 reforecast, we think that you're going to end the year at about $18.7 million in costs, which is slightly above what was planned for in the funding. So it's about 5.6% more than funding. going to 2021, we think that you need to increase your funding rates by 16.8% in order to cover the cost of 2021. Again, that is taking claims through March of 20, the rolling 12 months, and trending them forward for 21 months to get through 2021. We think costs for 2021 will end up at $20,650,000. Now, there's some additional information in here that assumes that you're getting a 25% increase in stop loss. We have not seen the stop loss from Newell, and we did just receive the renewal from Julie, and she can speak to this as well, that enhanced your rebates on your prescription drugs. So we should see about 100,000 marked off, because that came in after we did our projection. 100,000 marked off that 20,650,000. So 20,500,000 is probably the target we need to be budgeting to, based on 1,165 employees enrolled. So questions? There's a lot of information there, I realize.
You would think our stop loss would be better since we haven't had as many high cost claims.
Yeah, they haven't gone through the process yet of evaluating what your claims, the known risk from your high cost claimants, that is in process, and it definitely can be less. That was just the initial indication from our stop loss team based on historical information, market interest in your policy, and where you are on a benchmarking perspective. So Julie, you can jump in here and say you're more than willing to offer a flat stop loss increase, which would make a huge difference in this discussion.
And as much as I would love to do that, I also prefer to keep my job. I know it sounds crazy. So I don't have a crystal ball, and I wish I did, because it would be like winning the lottery. So we really don't know yet. As Lockton has done a fabulous job of projecting based on a whole lot of unknown information. It's a very, very weird year. Not like you guys know that. So I think, this year is even harder to predict than any other year as to what might happen. But we're definitely, trying to be as aggressive, which translates to fair for you guys, meaning, we want to make sure that we're reflecting what makes sense given your experience and what's happening out in the market. So I just don't know yet.
I will say that, COVID-19, it's obviously something that none of us has ever experienced before. So the underwriters and the actuaries are really struggling with how to assess the impact, because there's no history to go on. So it's an ongoing conversation for sure. But calculating in that additional 100,000, we still think that the increase needs to be about 16.25%.
Well, we don't like hearing that, of course.
I know.
We didn't like sharing it. Dina and I had conversations prior to this, like, oh man.
Yeah, and it's going to be, we're going to have to look at ways that we can kind of lessen that gap.
Yeah, because that 16%, I think that's the biggest projection I've seen since I've been on the committee. And normally it's 8 to 12, but I understand the times are different and everything's difficult. So,
well, and I will say we are conservative, but we just don't know. So we have to say that. Yeah, we're trending high, but we have to say that. Because so we don't let you down.
And Julie, this is for you, because I've kind of been harping on this the last couple months, but just looking at things, I want to make sure too, we take a really good look at prescriptions, because that is a huge, huge thing to our plan. And we really haven't delved into whether we need to make some adjustments in the prescription portion of our plan, with our co-pays and stuff. And I know Dave used to do a really good job of that. We haven't really heard much out of that section, but I think that we need a really good breakdown of where we're at and where we need to be on the prescription drug side.
Yeah, and Cindy, when we did our annual meeting, we did make a recommendation to implement a new program we have that focuses on specialty meds, and it would impact about 200 members. So I can bring that up and get some additional detail, and just kind of go back and say, you know, what else can we do? Given this increase, are there some other things that we can do on pharmacy? We did make some other recommendations, which, you know, Omada for pre-diabetic population, that doesn't have any, you know, it's not a significant cost. And that's something that could help with that population.
Well, just kind of comparing us to other plans our size, where
Right.
are we at with what we're charging on our co-pays and stuff compared to other plans? Just trying to make sure that we're kind of keeping that on a front burner, because I know that it has been one of the highest raising parts of any medical plan, just because of all of the specialty drugs and stuff. So,
Yeah.
Anyway,
So-
that's my thought.
Julie, will you go ahead and explain the specialty change that you proposed? Because I think it's something that you all should consider for sure.
Yeah. Let me pull up my notes because I need a little bit of a cheat sheet on this one.
Well,
So-
I'll describe how I understand it, then while you're pulling up your notes, and then you can correct me. How about that?
Okay, that sounds great. Thanks, Tina.
So basically, as you know, there's a lot of coupons out there for specialty medications, and under new rules, the carriers can start accessing these coupons to help you save money as well. So today, if an employee goes and gets a coupon, they save money, but the plan doesn't save money. So this would be allowing people who go through to get specialty mail orders to have the plan, or Cigna on behalf of the plan, try and get as many of the coupons as possible so that the cost of the drugs are limited. There may be some, it shouldn't be highly disruptive to the members. Sometimes the members get kind of a fake bill that they have to, so it looks like they're accessing it versus the plan. I don't know exactly how Cigna's works, but it's basically taking advantage of the manufacturer's coupons on specialty medications to drive the specialty medication costs down for the plan.
Okay, Dina, and I'm kind of remembering something about that, because recently they were talking about, and I wondered how that worked, because they were talking about putting me on Humira, and Humira offers the individual a ton of rebates, so you don't have to pay that humongous out-of-pocket cost. So I wondered how that would affect the plan. So this kind of takes care of that gap. It actually gives the plan back some money in addition to paying for
The
it, 'cause
members.
I was like, am I going to have to go outside of my pharmacy if I have to do that?
So today what they would do is they would give you the discounts, but not the plan. And what this does is it enables the plan to take advantage of the discounts as well.
Yeah, and Dina's absolutely correct. And I think, you know, with that, it makes more sense. It really aligns with how the plan is designed, rather than allowing people on specialties to kind of get a special deal, if you will. I think the other thing that we're not doing is first fill at Accredo, which is our care management approach. That's a way to save money too, because a lot of times people will get on a specialty and they don't necessarily, it doesn't work for them. And so we kind of waste that initial prescription. So it's a way to get started in a more efficient way, make sure it works, and kind of get that care management going immediately. So that's something else that we would recommend.
Is there a cost and a savings to both of those things?
So there's no cost to adding these programs. and we can run some savings data for you guys so that you have it. And we can partner with Lockton on that.
Okay, I think that would be very helpful.
Yeah, no cost programs that save you money are kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah,
Yep.
for sure. So yeah, I really want to take a deeper dive into that, because when we start looking for money, we got to look for money any way we can.
Yep.
Julie, is that something that we could go over next month in September's meeting and really dive into that program and any other programs that Cigna might offer that would help us out to kind of reduce some of these costs?
Yes.
Okay.
Have you guys had a pharmacy person come and talk to the committee, or is that just more the?
Not recently. Dave
It's been a
used to come
while.
all the time, Julie. He'd
Okay.
come once a year, and we have not had anybody for quite a while.
Okay, well, that might be something to do, as well as have Patrick join and have him talk about some of the programs. But we do have several things. We also have something called an out-of-pocket adjuster, which further enhances there's a specialty just to kind of make sure that things work as intended. So we can have, and there's no cost to that either. So we can do some analysis and work with Lockton on that, on pharmacy things, or if there's, are you wanting us just to dive into pharmacy at this point?
I think we need to dive into the whole thing. I mean,
yeah,
we kind of do this every year, and we look at our entire plan and where we can kind of
Right.
save some money and cost benefits and everything like that. And, you know, if we're looking at an estimated 16% increase, I think we have to look at the whole plan, not just pharmacy. But I agree with Cindy. I think the pharmacy side of it's the big ticket, but we can look at the whole thing as well.
Okay, we'll work with Lockton on that, and I'll also request Patrick to come to the next meeting and kind of talk about those pharmacy programs in some more detail.
Okay, thank you, Julie. Does anybody else have any questions about the presentation from Lockton? I know it's a lot to take in. We can kind of sit back and review it for a month, and then Julie and Lockton, Cigna and Lockton can bring some options to the table for us next month, and we can look at making a decision then about how we want to proceed. I will try, and I know we do have a lot going on, and I know it's hard to do these meetings virtually. I will get in contact with the city clerk's office, find out if there's a place big enough that we can meet in person and social distance and still follow all the protocols that have been set. So I'll work on that in the next week or two and kind of go from there, and I'll get that. I guess they don't want to meet in person.
Hey, one more question for Lockton. So on those projections and everything, you know, it was always said that we should be doing better since we got that one retiree group off of the plan. What's kind of happened there? Do you know?
So I don't know that it's better isn't really the right word. It was restructured. Let's put it that way. So that was the plan, that the increases last year were hopefully we have always known that the active members cost more than the post-65 retirees, because the post-65 retirees had Medicare first. And the removing them from the plan and changing the contribution structure was supposed to be kind of a wash. Unfortunately, the plan's not running as well as we had anticipated last year at this time. So we knew that on a per employee basis, the costs were going to go up. On a per member basis, the costs were going to go up slightly. They've gone up just a little bit more than we anticipated. And I think part of it is the fact that you have a lot of under spec claims. You have more that are less. I don't even know how to say this right, but you have more that are under. So you're not getting any reimbursements, where
Right.
The costs are it kind of is a switch, a bait and switch. Not a bait and switch, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. The under specific are still higher than normal.
Yes. And the over specific, and you're not getting anyone over specific yet. So it's a little bit of a switch in utilization from what we've seen in the past few years, which is kind of driving the cost per member up.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else have anything? Check our little chats, make sure. Well, if anybody doesn't have anything else, I'll work on trying to find a meeting room big enough. I think Tammy chatted in, the IUC building has a room that's fairly large and has recording capabilities and everything like that. I'll check with the city clerk's office on that and see if there's any other options as well. So, and I will try and get that out as soon as I can so everybody can make plans and adjustments as needed. So, if we don't have anything else, motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion
Second.
made by
Second.
Jeff.
Just so you know, Mike, my dogs are good, so they don't have any more objections.
You got my dog looking around when he heard that.
It is National Dog Day.
It is. It is. They're making their presence known.
We have a motion and a second on the table to adjourn the meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Sounds good. We will see everybody next month, and I will get any information out that we can about meetings or anything along that line. So hope everybody's doing well and have a great week.
Yep.
Thank
Stay
you.
safe, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.